All right, it's time to analyze. It's time to dissect the greatest trailer I have ever seen. What's up, Alfonso Nation? It's Alfonso Peter here today, and welcome to another episode of my Approaching TF5 series. This is basically a series where I discuss all the facts and rumors in regards to the Transformers The Last Knight film. This is episode number 61, and today we're going to be making an official review and analysis of the Transformers 5 official third trailer. The one that has impacted me so much to the point to where I emotionally broke down. So let's analyze and dissect this trailer down to the bone. Let's begin. So basically, the trailer starts off with a scene with it's basically somewhere in England or somewhere in Britain or Europe, or maybe it's like a place, like a random area. What you basically see is you see some rock structures, and at the very far center you see some engine, like almost like the exhaust of a ship that crashed into the mountain or into the hill or to whatever that big rock structure is. And then it shifts over to another scene where it looks like some type of like tunnel or a cave, and there's someone going into it, and there's a hearse right behind him. This is possibly that same exact thing that we just saw in the previous scene with, you know, the engines. So that's probably either King Arthur or like Merlin or something, because you know, according to the spoilers, Merlin is supposed to come in contact with Transformers, so this could be that legendary moment. So then it shifts over into an amazing scene with the Knights of Cybertron and the Knights of the Round Table. They are all together, unified with their flags. They're having some form of assembly. You got the fire going on. It's a pretty cool, nice event, hangout session with the Knights of the Round Table, and of course the Cybertronian Knights, which oh my god, I love that. I love that so much. When you see Transformers and humans interact in history, I love that. And that's what we saw in this particular scene here. There is somebody in the middle. It could be either King Arthur or the Commander-in-Chief of the Knights, or it could be the Chief Knight, whoever that is. That is one of the Knights in the middle. And then it changes into that same scene that we saw with the December teaser trailer. It was actually the first thing that we've seen, which is the cross, maybe the head of a sword, and you do see like a circle and like a cross in the middle of it, and it's dripping blood. And so it shifts over into the moment where I guess that is the conclusion of the meeting for the Knights of the Round Table and the Cybertronian Knights. You got the Knights of the Round Table doing their classic sword extension into the middle of the table, and the Knights of Cybertron are doing the same, which is cool. And then it pans up and you can see that there was 5 swords, meaning or alluding that there's 5 Cybertronian Knights. Now, according to you know, the actual like text, the description, it says that there's 12 Knights fighting along the 12 Knights of the Round Table. 12 Cybertronian Knights, 12 Round Table Knights. So these are only 5. Maybe the 12 might come later on. Who knows? Or maybe they die before, or they're gonna come later on. They're not there present at this time. It changes into this really awesome scene in the forest. It looks very, you know, like fantasy and like mystical. It looks like almost like a Disney movie, like one of those Disney movies that they make into like a live action movie. So yes, that is basically probably King Arthur or Merlin, one of the two. Again, we saw what could have been Merlin with the horse, but who knows? And he's riding down this pathway in the forest. Who knows where he's going? And then we see Cogman. Cogman is coming down, sweetie, and he got his, I don't know if that is like a lighter or a candle or just, I guess, like a little flame thing that he's holding. And basically you see Anthony Hopkins behind him, so they're probably going down into the basement or into some type of like vault or some type of secret location inside of the castle that kind of may, you know, reveal some things that are in secret. And then you see the transition with the very, very interesting looking metallic Cybertronian engraving. When I looked at this, if you guys follow my Instagram, I did a little like review of this, and I basically discovered what this could have possibly mean. This could possibly be a Cybertronian ancient prophecy about what's going to be happening in this particular plot. You can see that same seal or that same circular thing with the cross that Anthony Hopkins actually touched in the December teaser. And on it says Victoria sin sacrificio non, and then I can't really make out that last word, but it does translate into no sacrifice, no victory, which is, you know, the derivative of the 2007 quote. And of course you got Cybertronian writing, and it looks like it's glowing, or as if it's activating or something's triggering it. So that could probably mean that the prophecy is being fulfilled. It fades into the moment that has actually happened before, but it's actually going to come into full fruition now. You see planet Earth and you see Cybertron, or what looks like Cybertron, coming to Earth. Cybertron will actually impact Earth. It will actually almost like merge with Earth. So that is insane. Then it fades into the epic scene that everybody was like, oh my god. You see, including myself, you see Optimus Prime chained up again, and he's almost like hanging forward. It could be in the mothership, or it could be open in space, but it's just a big Cybertronian location. It could be in Cybertron. It could be anywhere. And that is also our first look at Quintessa. She's like floating with what looks to be tentacles. She looks like a human octopus like hybrid. I don't know. I personally don't mind the look, but I kind of imagine the Quintessa to be a whole lot bigger than what she looks like here. I imagine her to be like freaking massive, you know, like Trypticon, like a big creator, not a small thing like that, but that's what she looks like. She's very subtle, and she's saying, you know, Optimus Prime, you destroyed your home. Do you seek redemption? And he's like, my maker, I do. And we're gonna talk about that in a moment, because I do have something to say about Optimus Prime in this particular scene. So we're gonna transition into the actual like human part of it, and then you have the junkyard, you know, that you saw Isabella running down the junkyard in the teaser trailer. This could possibly be a place where Cade Yeager works, or that he owns, or that he's just using, but I think he's working there. You see an Energon detector there, possibly detecting Decepticon threats. You see him at the very top. At first I was like, how the hell did he get up there? And then I saw the ladder next to it. So he's up there thinking, you know, he got a lot on his mind. It kind of reminds me of that scene in Age of Extinction where he was looking up and you saw the star flying, where he was really in deep thought. So, and then you hear Isabella say, your daughter, what would you say to her? And he's like, you know, brush your teeth, work hard, don't date any boy in the band, especially the drummer. She's getting to know him and really getting to know how he would treat his daughter. And of course his daughter, his actual daughter, is not there apparently, because he's talking about her as if she's no longer there. And then we transition into the stadium, as always, and you got the kids walking up, very classic. And then you hear Anthony Hopkins say, these are troubled times. Freaking love this man. And then you see him with his nice, you know, he's all dappered up with his golden chain and his cane, dressing like a pimp. And he's in the castle, and he's standing before the original round table, and you got the original armor from the knights with that same little cross symbol on the breastplate there. And then you saw the same scene with Isabella Moner throwing that thing at the TRF. They're running from the TRF drone, just like in the recovered scene. Then you see the epic moment with Megatron, and like, and he got his face shield, and he actually freaking looks so awesome. I can't say I love that better than the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron look, but it's definitely on top of the list. He looks like a gladiator. And then you have him walking down with a better look of him. Actually, this is a lot brighter than the previous scene where he did that. Based on the location that he's at, this may be where he actually barters with the humans. This could be the same scene where he's actually making a deal with Linux, making a deal with the humans on what to do with Optimus Prime, because there's not really much action going on in that desert scene. It's that same desert scene we saw in the actual teaser trailer where he threw his axe down. Well, this is where he took his axe out. So this could be before that scene. Got Mark Wahlberg shooting the gun, and then they meshed it with that same scene where the Decepticons are being burned alive by whenever Cade Yeager flipped that switch, and then all the fire shot out. And we're not sure how many Decepticons died in that scene. I'm pretty sure Megatron didn't die, and some of the main ones didn't die, but who knows who died and who didn't. Transition into the classic Ark scene where I'm assuming that's Cybertron, that's like, you know, scraping the surface of the moon and ultimately destroying the Ark in the process. It fades into a beautiful shot of a dazed Vivian Wembley. Love that shot, that's a beautiful shot. And another beautiful shot of Cade Yeager, another dazed one. This possibly could be where he actually discovered something that Anthony Hopkins tells him in the next scene. I can't really say it because it's a spoiler, but yeah, that it looks like that's the moment when he discovered, like, oh crap. You know, I can't really say it, but you're gonna get what I'm saying when I talk about the next scene. Fades into the next scene and you see Anthony Hopkins saying, "You're all that stand in its way." So he's telling Cade, these are troubled times without leaders, chaos reigns, two worlds collide. You're all that stand in its way. He's telling that to Cade Yeager. He's saying, Cade, you're all that stands in its way. Now you guys think about that. I can't really say it because it's a spoiler. But yeah, he's basically telling Cade who he is and what Cade is capable of doing. And he's holding up a, I guess it's a satellite image or a thermal image of, you know, Cybertron and Earth colliding. And then you see the amazing shot of the knight stabbing the ground with his sword. And you see the that same circle and cross that we saw in previous scenes and little clips. And you see him and you see the war, all the war going on. You see the soldier throw his sword. You see the battle with a bunch of like catapults and freaking fireballs. Like, this is an intense battle in the medieval stages. This is going to be so awesome to see this in IMAX, because this actually was shot in IMAX 3D cameras. And then you see Anthony Hopkins there and he's saying, now the greatest mission of them all, to turn the tide of human history. And then you see Cade Yeager. He's inside of the Cybertronian night ship, or he's inside of probably the cave. It's probably that same location that actually came out of the water, that spot that we saw the submarines go into, and the same thing that surfaced, that Optimus Prime and Bumblebee fights on, that platform. That's probably the night ship that was buried beneath the ground of the ocean. And then you see from director Michael Bay. And then you see that same thing surface. That same thing. Now when I looked at that, I said, wait a minute, that looks familiar. That is the same little piece, or that same Cybertronian structure that was seen in the very first banner that was released. You see it very high up, which is very interesting because it's high above the ground. So does this thing actually fly? Is this actually a ship that flies up in the air, and will it actually do that in the film, or will it stay on the surface? This is probably going to eventually fly up. It is a circular figure, and you do see what looks like a sword in the middle, but if you look at it from an aerial view from the top looking down, it's going to look like a cross and a circle around it, just like the same thing that you've seen in the past. Then you see an intense moment when Optimus Prime slams Bumblebee. You see a better look at Bumblebee's face, and it's a lot brighter and it's a lot more detailed. Man, hats off to those who made the CGI for these Autobots. Looks freaking incredible. Looks so realistic too. And you see Optimus Prime with that sword, and he's coming down, and then you see Bumblebee like, oh my god, he is gonna stab me in my face. He is not playing around. Bumblebee's eyes are insanely like large. He's like, uh-oh. And so he quickly puts on his face shield, and then Mark Wahlberg is on the side. And then it literally just like brushes on his shield, and it also like literally barely missed Cade Yeager there. And you see the military, or I guess military, I'm assuming it's Transformers Reaction Force, and they're flying, and at the very, very edge you can see Optimus and Bumblebee fighting, still on the surface. If these jets do contribute to this fight, they're probably gonna shoot at both of them, because the TRF think that both of them are enemies. And then it transitions where actually Optimus falls on his back, and Cade runs up to Optimus like, Optimus, please, you can't do this. Trying to get him back to his normal mind because he's lost it. And then you got Optimus Prime, got Bumblebee way up there, and like he has the hammer in his hand, maybe the forge, and he slams him down. And in doing that, he literally rips his doors off his back. Oh my god, that's crazy. Then you see Cade and Vivian running. Then you see Cybertron actually falling into the ground, going straight through the ground. crazy scene, man. Like, this is actually probably going to be whenever Cybertron actually officially merges with Earth and uses the organic life form of the Earth to strengthen itself and to remain habitant. And in another scene, which is one of the craziest, most awesome scenes that I can't wait to see in IMAX 3D, is, you know, all of the helicopters and all the chaos, probably the final battle. And you got Lockdown Ship, so Lockdown Ship is back. Lockdown is not back, but the ship is, so it could be ran by the Infernicons. Maybe the Decepticons took over the ship, maybe the Autobots are taking over the ship, or maybe it's the Cybertronian Knights, the ones that were not present at the round table, because there were only 5, but there's 12 total. So maybe that's the actual Knights coming in a Knight ship. Who knows? And then you see the scene with Canopy, and he's dying, and she's like, I'm not gonna leave you, Canopy, I'm not leaving you, and he's fading away, his eyes are withering, poor thing. And then it changes into that scene where Bumblebee and Hot Rod is actually flying those Decepticon drones. Apparently, Bumblebee and Hot Rod is flying it, that's what people have been writing. So, I guess, or maybe they could be Decepticons, who knows? But they are flying through the roots of Cybertron, which is also going to be very epic in 3D. And then you see the helicopters, they crash, probably were shot down. Then you see the TRF soldiers inside of that same night ship that Kate and Vivian went to explore. Maybe they were running from the TRF. Maybe they were just exploring and they're technically trespassing and the TRF is looking for them. Who knows, but they are looking for something, and the only ones that could be there is Kate and Vivian. And then it changes into the scene where Kate and Vivian is in this little capsule. This is a very odd scene for me. I don't know, because there's like no really good way to see the environment, but they're in some type of castle, chamber, or room, and then it transitions to that same scene where they go into the Cybertronian tunnel thing at the bottom of the ocean. And then you see Vivian saying, when all hope seems lost, a few brave souls can save everything we've ever known. So who knows where she is? It looks like she's in a laboratory, or looks like a kneecap right there. So I don't know where she's at, but it's something scientific. And then you have that awesome moment where they share a romantic kiss. It wouldn't be a Michael Bay movie if they don't do that. And then you hear Lennox saying, the operation is over, and Kate is saying, we're not giving up on Prime, okay? And you get Prime getting smacked, getting punched the crap out of, and then you see Optimus getting another whack. And then it transitions into Cade Yeager, and he got what looks like to be the Excalibur, and he is fighting something, or hitting something. I don't know if he's trying to destroy like a relic, or trying to destroy a structure, or fighting against a Transformer. Whatever it is, he is very strong, or either the Excalibur is very strong. If you look closely though, you'll see on his left wrist there's a band. That particular band is very important to the plot because something has to be empowering Cade to be this strong. He's not just strong for nothing. I can't really say it because there's another spoiler, but there's a reason why he's able to fight other Transformers. It moves into the elevator scene where they're running from the TRF, and then Bumblebee bursts his barricade. He actually shoots barricade, and that's like mid-drive. That's so cool. No door. So that's probably after the fight with Prime. And then you also see Isabella saying, we're gonna stay and we're gonna fight them, as in every trailer. And you see Optimus Prime literally plunges his body into a helicopter, or into a military chopper, to destroy it. And you see at the bottom, Cade and what looks like Vivian is actually sliding down as well. And if this looks like that structure that was in the water, so maybe they're actually falling in the water, maybe it's sinking, maybe this is the night ship or something, lockdowns, maybe, I don't know. But it's some structure that they're inside of. Maybe this is probably the same structure that Prime and B were fighting on, because that's where Prime did most of his fighting. And it would make sense if Megatron would like save Bumblebee and then like interfere and like just come at Optimus and throw him into this little slanted part of the structure, and now they're sliding down. And so you see Megatron, actually his legs on the right hand corner there. Optimus throws his body into that, which really reminds me of the Age of Extinction scene where he was fighting Symmetry Wind, and he thrust his body straight into the oncoming vehicles and saved Cade from many of the guys who were actually driving it. Bunch of action, explosions, people are running, Hound is shooting. The girl is screaming. Optimus is fighting Dragon Storm. Oh my freaking goodness. Now if you slow it down, you will actually see Optimus Prime with purple eyes. So this is the evil Optimus Prime fighting Dragon Storm. So Dragon Storm may possibly be an Autobot. Apparently he is an Autobot according to the toys, and this is where he does a showdown with Optimus. And then you hear the moment that broke me in half, for my world to live. And you see him here with the most glowing purple eyes I've ever seen, looking at Vivian saying, "Yours must die." And you got Bumblebee in the background, and actually you see a good look of the left side of Prime's face with that red mark, probably a mark of the Knights. That's my guess. And then from that moment on, oh my god, all hell breaks loose. You see Cybertron, you know, scraping the surface of Earth. You see Cybertron in Hong Kong. You see Isabella. Oh my god, you see the scene with Grimlock versus TRF, and he's rolling on his back. You got the scene with the drone ship being destroyed by some incoming thing. You see a barrier or a force field or some type of shield around some special agents or TRF soldiers or officers, whatever. You got Linux aiming. You got, oh my god. You got Prime and Megatron fighting to the death, fighting for the final call. I honestly believe that in this particular fight, one of them will die. Either Megatron dies or Optimus dies, but I don't think that this fight is going to be concluded until one of them is dead. And I have my suspicions, but only time will tell. So Megatron is headbutting Optimus like a boss and dragging Optimus with his own sword. Freaking epic scene, man. And you got Kate in the water, and you got the same scene with the soldiers and the explosion as in the teaser trailer. You got Jared Carmichael, all afraid of what appears to be, I guess, Cogman in the elevator. You got Hot Rod for like 0.5 seconds. You got Megatron in this awesome like arm cannon there. It's the first time I've ever seen him ever like do something with it. With an explosion in the back, he's sitting down. You got Vivian just like, oh my god, this is freaking Cybertronian and it's awesome. You got action, explosions, all kinds of stuff. Mark Wahlberg's wet. And then you got, oh my god, then you got the epic finale with Optimus Prime, yeah, wiping them out with one swipe of his sword of judgment. You got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Infernicons versus 1 Prime equals some dead Infernicons, and he wipes them, slices their head off. Oh my god, that's freaking insane. He turns around and he is evil. So an evil Prime is fighting Decepticons. That is what happened. So that, man, that trailer is the best one I've ever seen in my life. For any movie I've ever seen. I've never been this much impacted by a trailer before. So that is what happened in the trailer, guys. I got so much to talk about, man. I'm gonna talk about that cross symbol with the circle and you know, all the other little Easter eggs inside of this trailer that we have not the time to discuss in this video. But that is the trailer, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. How do you feel about the trailer? Let me know in the comment section below. And that's all for today, guys. My name is Alfonso Peterman, and I will see you in my next video. Deuces!